everybody, it's Bunny, and today we're all gonna dream together and create the most amazing Pintertest. Not really from Pintertest. We'll just call this one a DIY. I look like a really weird cowboy. I was going for a chef vibe today because, as I'm sure you read on the headlines, the title of this video, today we're gonna be recreating the super famous overnight internet fad of the pizza highlighter. I couldn't find a chef hat, so I'm indeed using a pillowcase. Classy, and a stick-on stickly mustache. I'm sure you guys have seen it already. It's been taking the world by storm. It was created by an Instagrammer called Gina Makeup, and she said that her highlighter broke, and so instead of just pressing it back together, she got the idea to press it back together and make it look like a pepperoni pizza. How magical! So since then, everybody has been asking her to make them and sell them. I tried to buy one so I could do a review for you guys. None are to be found. So today, we're gonna try and make it. This is gonna be an experiment. I really don't know what I'm doing. You're probably not shocked by that. When do I ever know what I'm doing? It's my favorite time. The time when we destroy everything. So I'm going to take this, which is it's gonna be our pan for the completed product. And I think that this gold shade here on the end would be fabulous as part of the crust. And I just scraped some pink in there too, because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna try and just take a little bit of this golden, flaky, crusty pizza color, and I'm gonna try and just collect a little bit of it. And look, I could have saved like $5 on tiny plastic bowls by cutting up some plastic Solo cups. Oh my God, you learn something new every DIY. So I'm gonna carefully tweeze, oh, that wasn't very careful now, was it? Carefully tweeze some of this beautiful golden shade on the end, and we're gonna try and mix up some beautiful pizza makeup. I am just so excited. Also going to save basically every color that's not pink. I don't know, I might use the pink, you know? Ooh, that's like a lavender shade when I crush it up. Isn't this oddly satisfying to destroy things, or is there just something wrong with me? I don't know. Look, that one did you see that? That was a happy little magic. Oh, look. Okay, that is oddly satisfying. You cannot deny. Look, and I can even pick it up with my phalanges. Look at that. We're gonna take some of that. That's either gonna be like our crust or our cheesy pizza part. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go along. Honestly, there are no instructions for this yet on the internet, but just wait for it, because next week, there's gonna be like 1,000 of these. Now what I'm gonna do real quick is take the 91% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. We will need this again later, but right now I just took a paper towel and I'm cleaning this pan, making it look brand shiny, sparkly, spanking new. And I'm trying to mainly just get the pink color out of there because boys and ghouls, pizza should not be pink. Just remember that. That's like a life lesson, rule of thumb. Life lessons from Bunny. Pizza shouldn't be pink. Ooh, sparkling new. I say the first step is we should try and make some crust. And for that, we need some magic dust. So I am gonna be crushing up this beautiful brand new Rimmel, what is this? This is the Sundance. Yeah, so gratifying. Why, what is wrong with me? I'm stressed out lately, so it's like a de-stressor, honestly, to make a big giant mess. There is that color, which is dark, but I'm going for a multi-tonal. I want to make this look as real as possible. So I am going to go ahead and take some lighter shades from that pan that we just destroyed, which was the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Illuminating Palette. So I'm gonna add in little bits of this at a time, and we're gonna mix up a beautiful custom color. I'm gonna try and add just a little bit more of this kind of brownish shade from this L'Oreal True Match Lumi
whatever. Barely was showing you that in frame. What is wrong with my mind? And I would like to just go ahead and preface at this point of this video that making this, I mean, can be as cheap or as expensive as you want. I mean, you can take champagne pop, you know, and grind it up, or you can take makeup you find at the dollar store. I mean, you know, DIYs are really only governed by who is making them. So most of these products I did get at the drugstore, but I am going to be adding some more expensive stuff. Like right now, just to make it a little bit more shimmery, I'm gonna go through and add the Bare Minerals Illuminating Mineral Veil, and I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that in there because I'm trying to make this a really glowy highlighter, and I feel like adding that super sparkly powder is gonna help. 90% of the time that this takes is just trying to really like take a spoon or whatever you're gonna be grinding up the eyeshadows and highlighters and bronzers with, and really making it into a fine moldable paste. Now for the eyedropper and the rubbing alcohol. There we go. And I'm just going to put the alcohol into the bronzy highlighter thing that we've just made. In my opinion, this isn't just a highlighter, it's a little bit of everything because, you know, the pepperonis are kind of like blush, and the crust shade is sort of like a bronzer, and then the gold cheesy shade in the middle is what, in my opinion, is most like a highlighter. I'm gonna just start putting this in the pan just along the edges is what I'm trying to go for. And it's okay, you know, if it's a little bit misshapen, because just like pizza dough, it's not gonna look perfect. I definitely think fingers are gonna be the best utensil for most of this procedure. A little bit nervous if I made enough of this shade or not. Wouldn't it be unfortunate if I ran out like halfway through? I would cry. There we go. That is what we have right now. It has that nice, uneven, you know, doughy looking sort of consistency. At this point, I am a little bit nervous that maybe I added too much alcohol, because at this point it does have almost like a jelly blush consistency. Hopefully it will dry out overnight. Maybe I will not overdo it so much on the cheesy middle part. So that is what we are going to start brewing up next in a clean little container. For that, I'm going to be using this other section of the Lumi blush. Actually, these two middle sections, basically everything again except for the pink. So I'm going to scoop that out and the lighter shade out. Ta-da! What I'm going to be using a ton of for this shade is this True Gold pigment from Bare Minerals, and it is really gold, but I'll go ahead and swatch it on the skin because to me it just kind of almost looks like a cheesy. I mean, there it looks like straight gold, but you know, I mean, if cheese was a highlighter color, don't you think this would be it? I might add just a tad of this yellow eyeshadow in the NYX palette we used to make the rainbow highlight, and I think I might just take like, and I mean just a tad, just a little bit. I think it might make just a little bit of difference in really getting like that artificial pizza cheese, like if you got pizza from the school cafeteria or something, you know. I'm also gonna, once again, just to give it a lot of super sparkly highlight, I'm gonna add that same Bare Minerals powder in it again. This is actually really fun. Like, you know, if you're home and it's summertime and you're like, oh man, what am I gonna do today? Make a pizza highlighter. That's what you should do. This is the color that we have now, and there's, once again, no exact science to this. I feel like this does look like a kind of bready, cheesy pizza color, right? I ended up going through and adding a little bit more, like a couple more scrapes of that yellow NYX color, and then just basically using these two Bare Minerals powders, and that is the color that we're left with. I'm gonna add some alcohol this time, maybe just a little bit less than I did last time. I don't feel like this needs to be as malleable as the crust. Just trying to get it not too chalky or too powdery. Once again, all of this is totally guesswork. This might turn out a total fail. We will not know until tomorrow morning, because generally I like to let these palette things or these highlighter powders sit out overnight and completely dry before I decide if it's good or bad. So now I'm just loading this into the middle here. That is what we have right now. Hopefully the colors look different enough, and I'm almost thinking maybe I made a pizza bronzer and not a pizza highlighter, even though I do believe these palettes are supposed to be, yeah, that's an illuminator. I do know that this is a bronzer, but I do think I am using illuminators, so it's kind of crazy. Maybe I should just sprinkle a little bit more of this on the top. I don't know. Just like last time, if you watched the Rainbow Highlight DIY, I'm taking a pan of a similar size to this pan and a fresh, clean paper towel, and I'm just setting it on top, and then I'm gonna press down. I'm trying to see if I have it centered in there. Hopefully I do. And I'm just gonna try and soak up some of the excess alcohol and kind of press everything in the pan quite nicely. At least it kind of looks pizza-y, right? I feel like I definitely need to cover this part with some pepperoni. It's a little bit of a mess. Now we're on to the step that honestly makes me the most nervous, because how do you make something that's colored just like a pepperoni? You know, how much red, how much orange? I don't know. We're just gonna mix stuff up until I decide that it looks pretty. For that, I'm going to be employing the e.l.f. blush palette. Looks like this, and it's in the shade Dark. And I thought that, you know, kind of mixing some of these shades, I'm just gonna scrape a little bit out of everything, you know? And we'll see what we're left with. So I'm gonna take some of this top shade, because it looks a little orangey. I'm gonna pop in a little bit of this more red shade, and this has some sparkle in it, so that'll help us out. And then I think I'm gonna take a little of this as well. And then to get a really good sparkle to it, I think this is, I'm gonna have to look up what it is. It is a all over face color by Bare Minerals in the shade True. And once again, it's just really sparkly. I already swatched it on my hand, but that's it right there. So while this is not a highlighter or an illuminator, I think it does have some very sparkly qualities that will make itself more of a shimmery face powder. Maybe I'll just plop a little bit on there and see if I can sort of shape it into a pepperoni. It's so hard because it like sticks to your finger, you know? Let's see there. Boop. Huh, now it's sticking to the toothpick. Oh my goodness. I feel like this is gonna be the real time consuming. That sort of looks circular. This definitely just takes like patience, and you kind of just have to visually be like, oh, that looks sort of pepperoni shaped. Here we go. That's great. That looks like nothing right now, but I think when we flatten it out, it will start to look more pepperoni shaped. I definitely don't think I made enough pepperoni paste. That sounds disgusting. Here is what we have right now after about 30 good minutes of pepperoni craftsmanship. Everything is actually starting to get a little bit powdery, and I think we are at the next most challenging step, which is going to be to try and put the little slices in it. So what I'm gonna do is go back through and just kind of add a couple drops to everything. I'm not gonna try and overly saturate it. but I definitely want to make the pepperonis and everything a little bit more malleable so that they don't just stick up like they are now. Try and line it up. There we go. This is the most nerve-wracking part because I'm like, oh, is it just gonna ruin everything? I feel like this is the moment of truth. I don't know until you know. Wow. Okay, that actually kind of makes it look a little bit like a pepperoni pizza. I feel like maybe I should go through and like add some more pepperonis or something. I wish I was not getting this sort of like paper towel texture on there. I will just say, without swatching it, just by looking at it visually, it does look a little bit more like a bronzer or just a weird piece of makeup. I don't know what this looks like. So now I am going to unduct tape this thing here, which I bought, and it is totally wasteful, but I wanted to really try and recreate this for you guys. So I bought this whole Wet n Wild, and I mean also it's Wet n Wild, so it wasn't that expensive. It's a contouring palette because I thought being able to sort of like rest, you know, half of a pan at a time would really help me to be able to go through and score it and make these slices. And I got a pizza cutter so we could have an authentic feel here, but I'm not sure if that's the smartest. This might be too sharp. I'm just gonna try it just a little bit because I'm not trying to cut all the way through. Obviously, I'm just trying to score it. Let's see. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm gonna lay it this way. And we're gonna make another slice. Ta-da! Like so. And I kind of can't decide. I think that that's enough slices. I think if I were to slice it anymore, it would just be too darn slicey. So now I'm just gonna kind of go through with my finger, with a paper towel, and clean up the mess around the edges. And just like the rainbow highlight, I am going to leave this open and sitting out overnight so that it can be really good and dry and all stuck together and all that good stuff that you want makeup to be. And I'm telling you guys, I'm very excited to actually do some swatches of this and to try it on my face tomorrow because I kind of don't know what this is gonna look like, especially with the pepperoni as well. I don't know if it's gonna look bronzy or highlighty. I bet it's gonna look mostly like a bronzer. I'm just kind of scared if the pepperoni is gonna throw it off. But this is what we have right now, and I'm pretty proud of it. Honestly, it looks way better than I thought it would, so yay!
Here we are for the exciting conclusion of Pizza Highlighter. It has been a full 24 hours and I am pretty impressed with how this turned out. I know I said that yesterday, but now that everything has completely dried and all of the alcohol has set, it's a little bit brighter, it's a little bit more pizza looking, and it does look a little bit shimmier, making it look much more like a highlighter. Definitely having it set, you can really see the slices of pizza. I am just sort of patting myself on the back right now. Oh yes, you did it. It looks semi-good for once. Now is the time when we are actually going to apply it onto my face. I'm gonna try and do some swatches, just, you know, with my fingers, and then I will test it out with a brush. Here we go. Let's do a swatch on our fingers. And I don't know, you guys can see it better than I can because I can't see through this plastic here. Looking at it just as I suspected, you guys cannot see anything. It does sort of have a pinky rose-ish hue to it. Swirling it around, it does become a little bit muddied since the pepperonis are just like on top of the highlighter, and once you kind of swirl it around, you end up covering it with the cheese. Here it is on my hand. I don't really think that this looks effective as a highlighter. You can kind of barely see that anything is going on at all. Now, let's take this brush and just look at how beautiful this is by a brand called Royal and Langnickel, but I think you can get these at Walmart. They're actually pretty cool. So I'm gonna just swirl it around. We are getting a lot of fallout here. And let's see if I can deepen up that swatch. Just look at how much powder is like being kicked up though. I still don't think you guys can see anything. Maybe like in certain points of light. Let's go ahead and dust it on. And I am actually seeing a little bit. Nope, that's just my cheeks. I was getting a little positive there because I was like, oh, something's happening, but I still don't think really. I'm actually shocked about like how utterly ineffective this is. I thought we would get a little something because this time I did use highlighting and illuminating products and I added a lot of like sparkly powder into it. I thought at least we would get like some pigment just from using the bronzer, if nothing else. It actually, I think, is showing up a little bit more on my face, but it almost has a reddish glow to it, like a blush, which doesn't surprise me because I already figured that the pepperoni would give us a blushing effect. So, I don't know, you guys. I'm just kind of like packing on product here, like hoping something. Maybe my face is getting really red. Oh my gosh, it is. Okay, so I think that there is something happening. What is wrong with me? I just keep like rubbing more and more makeup on my face. I think it turned out really, really cute. So I would give like the product, like how it looks, like a 10 out of 10, at least like a 7 out of 10. But for wearability, I would probably only give it like a 2 out of 10, just because you are mixing a lot of different colors in here. It's doing a lot of stuff. I could talk forever about this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though it is a little bit silly. Don't forget to check the info box in case you guys are curious about all of the different products that I used to make this. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today and for watching. If you're not already and you'd like to be, hit that button down below, subscribe, become a member of the Swamp Family, and give an alligator its wings. Also, if you want, you can like me on Facebook, facebook.com/graveyardgirl, or you can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, or Instagram at graveyardgirl, same way it's spelled here. I love you guys so much, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye!